All right, so here we go with our first challenge. Now, if I open up the challenges which I made a digital copy of, but you should have a copy of these. The first challenge says, write a sketch where a green LED is on forever. Okay, so what that means is that if we go back to our sketch that I did in our error video, we have these two areas where we can write code. Void setup. Now inside these two curly braces, you can see that if you highlight one, the other one where it shows it's been closed is down there. And then we have, which void setup is where you would put code if you only want it to run once. In void loop, we put code in here that we want to run repeatedly. So we want it to run over and over and over again. Now, challenge 1 says, write a sketch where a green LED is on forever. Well, that would mean that we're going to write it in here. Now, this part here, these two slashes mean that whatever goes after that is a comment, and so it's just helping you out. So I'm going to take these ones out because I don't really need them. I've just explained what those comments do. So the first thing we need to do is say, all right, we want the LED to light up. So we say Esplora. All right, so it's everything we do, we tell the Explorer to do it, and we say write RGB. Now, Explorer write RGB means the Explorer's LED is going to light up, and the combinations are red, green, and blue. So in the brackets, we have, so I open a bracket and we say, if I said 0, 0, 0, then what would happen is this one is red and it's going to be 0, this one is green and it's going to be 0, and this one is blue and it's going to be 0. But what we want is a green light on that is happening over and over again. So what we want to focus on is putting a number here, all right, and the rest of them are going to be 0. So I'll put those in. You put a comma after them so that they recognize that, and we say 0. And so where the green one is, the smallest, or let's say the dullest, not the brightest, but the dullest light would be 1. And the maximum brightness we could have for any light is 255. So I'm going to make it a bright green light because RGB, so red is off, green is bright, and blue is off as well. And then I need to finish that with a semicolon. Quite often, students forget the semicolon, or they don't quite understand this concept of putting the numbers in, and they'll put random numbers in, or they'll spell write RGB wrong. They might put a capital W, and you can see that it goes grey if you put a capital W, so it's a small one. Or they'll do small RGB, and you can see that it goes black because that's not right. And or the most common one is they forget that little semicolon at the end there. So now I go ahead and run that, or I'm just going to verify it. So let's say you're at home and you don't have an Explorer. So we verify that, and you'll see there are no errors. Now, if I run that, although you can't see it, my Explorer would have a green light lighting up. So that is challenge number 1. And maybe I should give that a tick and say we've done challenge number 1.